For those with good taste.
Welcome back, Tasties and Taste Stats, to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your boy Lenny, and Dave's back.
Hey, I'm alive.
And he never left, but Dante is here as well.
Damn. Don't sound as excited for my presence, huh?
Like I said, you never leave, so.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I'll skip a week so you can, they say distance makes the heart grow fonder.
And this week, we are going to be getting an update on Dave's trip to California. For those of you worried he was going to get back alive, he is here. He is great, and he's well rested.
They were worried he was going to get back alive?
Well, I said rest in peace last week, so.
Well,
they would be worried he wasn't going to get back alive.
Yeah,
I think I said it
that's
right.
what he said.
I think I got it right.
Yeah, he got it.
Sure.
Right.
All right, dude. All right, Webster.
I would say it was a close call because, man, LA is on fire right now.
Literally?
Yeah.
Well, you know what else is on fire, Dave? That like, comment, share, and subscribe button down the bottom of your screen. Make sure to go ahead and hit those before we get into this. Did you start it? Because I didn't start the... No, shoot the sheriff's the words I'm looking for. Never mind.
I didn't start the fire.
Is that another song?
Yeah, it was always
We
burning.
didn't start the fire.
Yeah, see. I didn't shoot the sheriff. It was just the deputy was in my head. Okay, what happened there, though?
I'll be honest. I mean, I didn't quite know. It was just the last day that we were there, and I'm kind of sitting in the hotel lobby watching the
Is that Chingy?
What are you thinking of?
He said the hotel lobby.
Meet me at the Holiday Inn.
Oh, my God.
I was just watching the 49ers and Jets games, and I just heard a guy saying, I was like, oh yeah, San Bernardino's on fire. And I was like, what? I just like Google it, pull up my phone, and like there was 3 separate fires all around like the LA area all at the same time.
What if they were converging in on you?
Well, they were all on the outskirts of like the actual city, not like in the city. But I was obviously a little bit worried that like, I don't know, it was going to affect my plane out, and like nobody said a thing. Like it's just a normal occurrence. Nobody cared.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Do you guys know any movies that are about stopping fires like that? I got 2 for you.
There's a Josh Brolin one, isn't
So
there?
that's one of them. I don't know the name of it. Josh Brolin and Miles Teller.
Yeah.
Want to look that up for us, Dante? Josh Brolin, Miles Teller. What's the name of that movie?
That's a TikTok movie right there.
The other one, Howie Long movie. I love it, called Firestorm. Hilarious film. Definitely check that out.
Josh Brolin.
Only
Miles
the
Teller,
brave.
Only the brave.
Only the brave. Pretty good. Isn't Miles Teller like a alcoholic or something like that?
Yeah,
Druggie? Yeah. And he's trying to get his life clean.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fine film. It's a little bit more. Firestorm is more Howie Long's in it, so I think you kind of know what it is. Just a ridiculous action movie where like convicts are stuck like putting out fires and like they try to escape. And that movie is far more authentic, I feel like.
Howie Long, the football player?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, dude. Yeah, him. It's a great film. I highly recommend that to people. As far as something to just throw on, also in my voodoo, if anybody's wondering, because I can't help but put something like that in there. Can I tell you guys something really quick that I like? So we didn't talk about this, and keep an eye out for our Beetlejuice review. It's probably already out when you're watching this. Go back and watch that for us. But something that I didn't talk about before I saw Beetlejuice that happened to me. So I go and I'm getting my my drink and my popcorn, and you guys are familiar with the way that like South Bay has their popcorn? It's like grab and go, down the end. There's this older father with his younger son, or maybe he was a grandfather even, and I watched him take the popcorn. And he started eating pieces and then tried putting it back into the fucking thing to take a different one.
Why would you tell me that? Now that's something I'm going to have to worry about. Like, I'm never going to get popcorn there again.
Like, I walked up. I think I might have got mozzarella sticks or something instead of getting popcorn. I can't remember, but I was standing there waiting, and I just watched him. Like, they put up new popcorn, and he was just sitting there popping a couple pieces in his mouth, and he slowly tried putting the popcorn bucket back up in the thing, and his grandson was like, "You can't do that."
What the fuck?
Reminds me of when I went to like Roxy supermarket once, and like this really old guy was just picking up the cartons of eggs, picking up like individual eggs, looking at them, and just coughing all over them and then putting it back and grabbing a different dozen. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm never eating or buying any food here again. See you later.
Yeah, you can't do that, dude. Yeah, I just thought that I wrote that down in my notes as soon as it happened because I thought it was really funny. I was just like, this old man, like, how often does this happen that people just take some popcorn off the top and just skimming the popcorn buckets and putting them back up there? You're gonna have to ask for a freshie every time, Dante.
Yeah. I have
Um,
to make a formal complaint.
but like a pre-complaint.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna have to come in there upset and be like, you know what? You know how you can make it up to me? Give me some fresh popcorn.
Hey, you know what? Somebody could have picked up some of this corn. You have any other California tales for us?
I mean, obviously spent a lot of time kind of just doing some Disney stuff, doing some Universal stuff.
Oh yeah, Disney adult Dave. He's back. We
Yeah.
call him Dad for
Yeah.
short on here.
Oh, I like that.
So I ended up just kind of like tailing along with one of my friends. He was down there to kind of do some of like the Halloween like races. There was a
Racist?
What?
there was
Huh.
a 5K.
A lot of blackface in Disney these
They had
times
a
of the year.
5K, a 10K, and a half marathon, like running through the parks and like kind of around.
So there's just people running past you.
No, so like all the races were like 5 a.m. like before park open.
The racists are the early risers in Cali.
Jesus
So
Christ.
like he's been like super into this. He's done this a bunch between the LA and the Florida parks.
Easier to run in California than it is in Florida.
My man, it was granted I wasn't awake at 5 a.m. But it was 105 plus every single day that we were down
It's a
there.
dry heat though.
Sure. It's heat.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
You got
it's
that
still
right,
hot.
Dave. Yeah.
Dude, it was pretty brutal and miserable, and I had to take constant I think I took like 2 to 3 showers every single day. Like it was just I had to.
It's fucking September. Why is it so hot?
It was gross.
It's probably those fires. You're just in the middle of an oven.
But yeah, so got to do a lot of Halloween stuff. There was like a Disney Halloween party on the first night that we got there. It was the Oogie Boogie Bash. So it was pretty cool.
Did anybody do the Monster Mash?
No, I don't think they own the rights to that.
Missed opportunity.
I don't know how you do Halloween stuff and not have a Monster Mash happen.
Well, I mean, you have all the, the Nightmare Before Christmas, this is Halloween. It was fun. It was cool, like walking around at night, with all like the Halloween lights and characters kind of running around. There was all this like trick or treating stuff. So like, I got like 2 giant bags of candy thrown in my bag. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it all.
Any Smarties?
No,
The fuck?
no, it was a very particular selection of like M&Ms and Skittles, pretty much.
Damn. I'm in it for the Twix and the Kit Kats.
Twix. There were no Kit Kats.
You should get a bowl, open up all the packages of Skittles and M&Ms and put them all into one party bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, like a surprise?
Yeah,
You
that'd
get
be kinda
chocolate or you
fun,
getting
dude.
Skittles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Be a blast.
so I mean that was cool. Then we also did the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal.
Mm-hmm.
Not really my cup of tea.
You were scared?
I'm not a big horror guy. I wasn't scared, but I
Sounds
also just didn't do anything. They have a bunch of like haunted houses like off to the sides.
And you didn't go in any of them?
No,
What?
You a giant P word?
sure.
All right. Got it.
I just know what I like and what I don't like, and just having people run around and loud noises like doesn't, and I don't enjoy it. So like, why would I put myself through it?
Dante, you want to go to a haunted house this year?
Let's do it.
Sounds fun.
We can do Barrett's, right?
No, we're not doing that shit. No thanks, dude. I'm good on that. Let's go to Spooky World.
Okay.
But no, it was still fun being able to walk around Universal, kind of having it be like obviously a Halloween and horror theme walking around. I just didn't do any of like the haunted houses, but I still got to go around a lot of all the rides and everything.
So it's like 105 degrees and people are wearing costumes.
Yeah,
Psychos,
It-
dude.
dude,
That's
it was.
Was
disgusting.
anybody's faces melting off?
I mean, mine was. That was cool. And so while I was there, I'll say I'll say 2 famous people, but like a famous and a half person.
So they're more
one and
than
a
one
half.
times famous?
1.5.
Or
famous
0.5.
people.
or half a famous person?
Half a famous person.
Okay, a dead one.
So both of them were pretty much at the end of the night. It was already really dark. Two of my friends, there was a Ghostbusters, the Frozen Empire,
Okay.
haunted house at the back end of Hogsmeade, like the Harry Potter area. And they were kind of rushing to get there because it was towards the end of the night, and they just wanted to get the last two houses done before we left. So they're kind of like kicking it into another gear. They're probably like 20 or 30 feet ahead of me as we like cross the threshold into the Harry Potter area. I'm just like, I'm not going in with them. Like, anyway, so I'm just kind of slow down, kind of hang out. And then this girl and this guy walk by me, and like I stopped because I was like, I recognize her. And like I completely stopped in my tracks, like looked over, and she kind of noticed that I had stopped and just like looked at me, but I didn't say anything because I hadn't processed, like the gears hadn't completely turned yet. She kind of looked over at me, but like didn't catch eyes or anything, and then just continued walking by me. And then like I kind of turned around and like I watched her walk away, and I'm like, who the hell is that? And then finally it was McKenna Grace.
Can I get a picture?
She played Phoebe in the new Ghostbusters, both of the movies.
I wouldn't have recognized that girl.
Yeah, so but like
in large.
It took me a few minutes, but and funny enough, she was coming out of like the Ghostbusters area.
Can I ask a question from pre-pod?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, all right. Just like so it's acceptable if I say something now.
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, nice. All right.
And like so like I wasn't completely sure, and like I was like, oh, like let me
Of her
like,
age or of her name?
of like if it was her.
Okay.
So like I pulled up in her Instagram and was like, oh, she hadn't posted anything. I was like, all right, maybe it wasn't her. And at the end of the night, I decided, I was like, hey, look, let me check again as we're walking out. And like she posted like part of it, like the story, like, hey, Halloween Horror Nights is back. I was like, all right, cool. Like it was her. Like I saw her. I was like, all right, whatever.
Is she the half famous one or is she the famous one?
No, she's the famous one.
I think we need to adjust our ratio to 1.25 famous. Who's the other person?
Ariana Grande's brother.
All right, we need to just go down to one famous person.
Yeah,
they're both half famous.
I saw him at the end of it, and the only reason I know of who he is because he was on a season of Big Brother like 10 years ago.
What the fuck?
So, and
Yeah,
I watched that show back then. So like I saw him, I knew who he was, but then like as soon as I saw him, he like literally ran off to like meet up with friends, and I just didn't see him.
Were anybody asking for pictures with him?
I don't know. Like I saw him for all of like 4 seconds.
Here's the only thing I would have said is like, if you do get cool with him, like Ariana Grande doesn't really have like a type. Like if you look up her current husband or boyfriend, he is just a very average Joe. There could have been a shot for you, Dave.
Yeah. Well, we'll never know.
And I'm a fan of the Grande. The size from Starbucks and her. Anything else?
We don't
from
support
Cali?
Starbucks.
No, actually, sorry, haven't had it except for once in a month.
No, I guess that's kind of the gist of
Dude,
my
it's
trip.
great to know that if you go to Hollywood, you're going to see celebrities such as the girl from Frozen Empire and Ariana Grande's brother.
At first, I thought he was saying Ariana Grande. I was like, she's very much not half famous.
No, she might be 2 stars.
Yeah.
Dave walked the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and then he saw Ariana Grande's brother. Not to mention, you know, like you mentioned this on the Beetlejuice pod. If you want to hear Dave's review of the Chinese theater, check that out. But you talked about the Hollywood Walk of Fame on there, and I couldn't help but think to myself, like, first of all, people pay for those.
Right.
Like, they don't get like asked; they have to pay to have their star
Right.
there and have it maintained. Also, just homeless people pissing shit all over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you walked all over a lot of that.
Yeah.
Nice. That was all I was thinking.
Part of the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fecal matter. Yeah. It's crazy. New York and LA just both are just like piles of shit. Just their streets.
Oh, I mean, I guess actually I have one more quick little tidbit from LA is I managed to get out to the SoFi Stadium and
You
go
did, yeah.
see the Chargers.
Did you see
versus
any of the
Raiders.
fights?
No, but
How do you miss them, dude? There was like 10.
was it why were they like on TV?
Oh, there's a ton on social media.
Okay.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Well, yeah, dude, I did not feel
Safe
comfortable or safe.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just everybody's on edge.
It was not a fun environment. It was, I mean, obviously it was like a Chargers home game, but throughout the years we've all like heard that like Chargers don't have
Fans.
a home field
Yeah.
advantage. They don't have fans. And then like just let it be that the team that they were playing were an LA based team that has a hell of a lot more fans in LA, even though the team's no longer there. Just walking from the parking garage into the like stadium area through like basically the tailgate, dude, it was like it didn't feel safe.
Well, there's just
Wasn't
people
fun.
like talking shit to each other all the
Yeah,
time.
but like violently close and like just like really angry.
Sounds like Raiders fans.
Yeah.
Did you wear neutral colors?
I was wearing a blue sweatshirt.
Dave, if you're going to wear
Chose a
anything, wear
side.
black, dude.
I didn't think about anything like going into this. I was like, it's a Chargers home game. That's all my brain was at. I was like, I'm not wearing any actual like team gear, but I was like, I'm just going to watch a football game. My friend was wearing a Chargers jersey.
Safe.
So like it was just it's like it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I'm being honest, like I didn't have fun.
And the game wasn't good either.
Game kind of sucked, and then like I was like a mixture of like, hey, like I don't want to be stuck in traffic, and I don't want to be stuck in a crowd. So we basically booked out like right at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Chargers scored a touchdown and like their carryover drive to start the fourth quarter. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
When was the fight on the field?
I mean, there was an early fight like right in the beginning of the first quarter.
The end zone fight, right?
I think
Something
so.
like that. Yeah. It looked like from afar, just like the social media videos, like there were some violent fights that came out of that.
I haven't seen any
game.
of those. So
Yeah, they're pretty violent. And yeah, I don't blame you for saying it's not a fun environment. I think next time, yeah, just rock neutral colors to maybe something.
dude,
like
and I
that.
gotta say, like, I feel like as a Patriots fan, like we're always at the top of the list of like worst fans. I have never seen or felt the kind of aggression from our fan base that I did.
But we're not known for like fights. We're known for just being like snobby. We think we're better than you
Sure,
fans,
and I
think.
mean, like that put us at the top of the list? Like, I just don't think that it's like we're a bad fan base. It's just like I guess to the point like we've won so much. I don't care who you root for. Like,
yeah,
like we've had our wins. Like I'm good. Like, but like I guess them like they don't win. They're extremely passionate, so they're extremely angry.
the Raiders have a right to be angry. Like they are like a legacy franchise, and like they've been terrible forever.
Yeah,
So
And-
like I get their fans being
and they
disgruntled,
just keep getting moved.
and like I also get like you know what it is. I think it's like being in high school and like the Raiders are the bullies, and it's just a really easy to pick on the Chargers. Like you're wearing powder blue uniforms, and you're like you aren't even real fans. So I think it's just easy to like pick on those people.
Yeah,
Like you're fair weather fans. You're just here to be like for social media clout, not like to really care about this franchise. I assume. Like, I mean, I guess I don't know. There's probably real Chargers, but not many.
yeah.
Would
Not recommend
no,
going to that game.
no. Did you like the stadium itself?
No,
No.
it was not. Granted, like I don't know what to. I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't actually like seen a deep dive of what the stadium looked like. All I knew it was like SoFi Stadium is always like super hyped up as one of like the newer stadiums, but like it was very just bland. It was very just like everything was kind of just either like white or gray. And it was just like this. They had this like kind of like fake roof over the top. It was like just a white roof to just basically block the sun from coming in. but the sides were still very much just open air. So I thought we were going into like an air conditioned like stadium, but no, it was still extremely hot. Sun's not directly beating on me, but there's no wind coming in, and I'm just in the 500 levels, like right at the top of this
Yeah, like
roof. So I'm
cooking,
still getting heat. I'm just not getting the sun.
And with no airflow, it's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like shit. It makes me want to go, I'll tell you.
Yep.
Yeah. Really sold me on that.
I think I would have been fine had it been any other team other than the Raiders.
Yeah. Do you like that so I've only been to Northern California. I've never been to Southern California. I don't know if you've been to Northern California or only to Southern. So like, did you enjoy California itself?
No.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I want to go to Southern California. Like, I really enjoyed the 2 times I've been to Northern California. I've really enjoyed it. I've heard Central California is pretty cool too. But like, yeah, I've just never heard anything good about Southern California.
I mean, I basically was like city based the entire time I was there, so I didn't get to really check out like any of like the
Mhm.
nature areas. I didn't get a chance to go to any of the beaches and just like kind of check out the
Yeah, I've just
ocean.
I've done like Oakland and San Fran the 2 times I've been. And like, I went to the beach there, like some stuff, but like, yeah, I thought that was a cool vibe, but LA just seems too busy for
It was a
me.
very like just sprawling city, man, with just like 8-lane highways going everywhere.
Their highways are impressive.
Traffic still sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You basically, and you can't really walk everywhere there either.
You can't walk anywhere.
You have to kind of rely on transportation still.
Yeah.
And it's like Uber. It just sucks. Okay. Well, you guys want to jump into some news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we do so, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe this video, please. Thank you. You guys recall the movie The Hitman?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dave,
Yep.
do you remember this one?
Yep.
So I read an interesting, I won't call it an article because I didn't read the full article. We know this. I just read like the Twitter thing about it. So Neon is wanted to buy the movie prior to it getting released to Netflix. They were the ones bidding on it. And the CEO Tom Quinn of Neon basically said that they wanted to buy it, but the company TIFF they outbid it, or Netflix. They wanted to buy it from the company TIFF, but they were outbid by Netflix for it. Okay, so the film was made for about $5 to $7 million. They said really low budget. They made it for about that much. And Neon believed that if they had bought it, they could have released it to theaters, and they would have made at least $25 million for it, maybe even more, and it would have been like a success for them, like a good investment for them to make. And that was just domestically that they were talking about making it, and they thought it could make upwards of maybe even 40 million. Especially they referenced Long Legs and the success that it had in the theaters as like a low budget film that ended up turning around a healthy profit and made it worthwhile to go that direction. And so Netflix ends up buying it instead for about $20 million and releasing it directly to Netflix. And he's just basically saying that it's like a disappointment, and it's something that they fear for the direction of Hollywood, that like movies like that like they are successful on a lower budget, that aren't going to get a chance to go to theaters where they could still make money and be successful because of these large streaming platforms just buying stuff up and putting it out there. And so these smaller production companies are potentially missing out on opportunities to go to theaters with their films. Thought it was interesting. Dave doesn't think it would have made.
No.
It would have.
And like, get wrecked, bud. Like, so what? All right, you lost a bid for a movie. It happened before. It's gonna happen to you again. Like, oh
No,
well.
I think it's gonna happen. I just think that it goes to like, and the movie was successful on Netflix, so it doesn't really matter either way. If you're like, if you're the production company, like your movie still got made, it still got sold, and it still ended up on something that got seen by a ton of people.
Hey, they worked hard.
They did, they did, and I mean, it's not. Well, I guess he didn't though.
Right.
Like he's the only one who's like complaining about this.
He's kicking and screaming from the sideline.
But I don't know. I do think there's a conversation to be had there about like it, there's a place still for the movies for things to be productive, and I think what he's kind of saying is that like now you've basically put a ceiling at your movie because like you only made 20 million as opposed to like the ceiling could be much higher if it goes to the theater. It could be much lower too, of course. Like your movie bombs and it just makes back $7 million, nobody goes and sees it, and then like there's no conversation to be had here. It's just a poor investment. I think the retrospective idea is like easy to say, like, well, we were projecting with this much money.
Yeah, see, like I'm sitting here from the mindset like I don't care. Like what's your argument that there's less of these like B level movies hitting theaters, or
I
is
think
the,
they would argue that this wasn't a
or,
B-rate movie.
or is the point of his argument like I could have made more money with this,
I think that that's probably where he's coming
so
from.
I
some of
don't
his
care.
argument. Yeah. Yeah.
Get lost.
Yeah.
Like
Dante, I mean, Dave's obviously biased. Do you think that it would have made money?
I still haven't seen the movie.
You're a Powell guy, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Powell's still a draw to the box office, and like, I think expecting 20 to 25 mil is probably realistic.
I think that it probably would have done that. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
off of the strength of just him by himself, I think that people would have been curious. And I think it got pretty positive feedback prior to it coming out. And they did a strong press run for it as well. It's not like the best movie in the world. Dave's, again, biased. So, not going to have a fair take on this one.
Twisters is my number one movie of the year. So like
Yeah, you still don't like Powell, though.
chill with the bias. It was a bad movie.
But you're biased. You don't think you're biased?
The Man is in my number one movie of the year.
In spite, I feel like, kind of. Like, it has nothing to do with him. You would have you'd dock it down points, maybe even because of him.
Number one.
Now I'm thinking you did that strategically to get this get this stink off of you. Okay, next up. They have begun the search for the next stars of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They put a casting call out for the roles of Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Ron Weasley
Is this for the TV series?
for the TV series. Yeah. Which is expected to begin filming in 2025. It's a UK open casting call that they put out. They're looking for children to play the role in the upcoming HBO series. We're looking for kids currently of the ages between 9 and 11. I'm getting more worried by the moment.
Missed our window.
Here's like we've done this conversation before. Are we just redoing the movies?
Yeah. Dude, that's why like I'm content is content, but like I'm kind of just like this was done so recently that like this doesn't need to be redone right now.
When did the first Harry Potter come out?
2005.
I want to say earlier. Like 2001 or 2. Man,
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking of like where I was in school and I just chose the wrong school.
I think it was done well. I think is part of the issue. Like I still
Yeah.
think that like the movies hold up to a point where you don't need them to be redone yet. To get a like I'm getting nervous because I'm like, what is the fresh take on this? And how am I not going to just be like, you're not Harry Potter?
Right.
Like Daniel Radcliffe is fucking Harry Potter. Like, how am I supposed to not feel that way when I'm watching this?
It's still it's just way too soon.
Like they hit it. Like, go look at the original cover art to fucking the Sorcerer's Stone or was it the Apprentice's Stone or something? Philosopher's Stone, yeah. Either version of the book covers that they had. And go look at Daniel Radcliffe and tell me that they didn't have the perfect casting of Harry Potter from the moment they found that kid. And then how am I not going to then look at whoever they cast now and be like, that's not Harry Potter? That's where I'm skeptical. And I'm like, I don't know that I need you to retread. And so are we getting 7 seasons? How does this work? On top of the fact, Ray Fiennes was fantastic as Voldemort. And I'm like, or he who shall not be named. Sorry. But I don't see how any casting that they do can be better than what we already got.
Alan Rickman is Snape.
Yes. Like,
Forgive me, I can't.
Which character?
Hagrid.
Roof? No, the Roof. I can't remember his name. You're right.
Yeah, I mean,
Robbie Coltrane.
yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously, like R.I.P. the
Mhm.
last like year or two, I believe.
They
I
just
mean, Alan
the,
Rickman as well.
the
obviously.
casting was so good through all of the characters that they got, and it was so accurate. And I think it's also just that the movies were good enough that like they portrayed the characters in a way that the only saving grace, I suppose, is that for really, really hardcore Harry Potter fans, like Harry Potter book fans, I mean,
Yeah.
not movie fans,
Mm.
is that things that were complaints like, okay, Order of the Phoenix misses, like, has chunks of the book that
Yeah, you
just
can
aren't there.
get more into like the nitty gritty details of the book that you just didn't have time for with a theatrical release. But like, is that a reason enough to just redo the entire thing?
I was hoping when this stuff was announced that we were going to get some type of fresh take as opposed to
I mean,
a retread.
that would probably make me even more nervous. Like, what kind of fresh take? Like, what do you like? You have the source material.
Yeah, you can't really, I guess, like, I would almost rather you give me Harry Potter at 20 years old post all of the books.
And mind you, this is still WB
Mm-hmm.
who do not do things very well.
No.
So
Most of these major companies, though. But okay, but do you think that this could have been better with like, okay, because we know Harry goes on to do Ministry of Magic, right?
I think
If you get some type of like episodic thing following him through like his job and
I mean,
the
sure,
ministry.
I would absolutely love like just a continuation, but like, I mean, it's pretty just I think cut and dry that nothing happens in that timeline like anymore between like the Cursed Child and this.
Yeah. But I guess you could just fill in that stuff because in terms of like the Cursed Child from a film and TV standpoint is not canon. That you could have done whatever you wanted. You have a whole empty, clean slate essentially there, as opposed to just going back to what you've already done. I don't know. It make it like this is what you were talking about earlier, Dante, about just making money for the sake of making money. Like this is one of those things, you
And
know.
who's doing the show?
WB, the same company that made the movies.
So like, is that like the CW or?
Warner Brothers, Dante.
Oh, I thought WB wasn't a thing anymore. Why do I think that?
Well, the WB was the CW, like as a TV network.
And just
Yeah.
because we're on the topic, I got you guys some chocolate frogs.
Well, that's really appropriate timing.
So
This wasn't planned.
here you go, Lenny. I got you milk chocolate and Dante. I hope you like dark chocolate.
Well,
That seems racist.
That's really funny. The allegations won't stop for Dave. Do we do live taste testing?
If you want, they are really good. That one's really sweet, and I like it a lot. You guys obviously get some wizarding cards.
Yeah, I'll live taste. Oh, it's a whole frog.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
it's gonna be.
I
It's
thought
like
it was gonna be like a little baby frog.
no. So
They're
you're not really gonna be able to break off a piece either.
like
Like
gotta bite into it.
like it usually takes me a couple days, and I just like gnaw at it.
A
Okay.
couple days.
So this is the frog. Everybody out there.
Holy shit!
This is the frog. I'll be the first to get into it. Holy shit!
I told you.
This thing's solid.
Okay, it's just chocolate.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah,
solid.
just chocolate.
Like, bro.
What'd you get?
Oh, it was a badass card. Baymont Major Banks.
Oh,
Major Banks.
all right.
It's a pioneer of herbology.
Ooh.
He's a collector of many rare and magical flowers. He discovered gillyweed.
Oh, helps you breathe underwater.
Fun tie-in. Dante, who'd you get and how's the chocolate?
The chocolate is chocolate. It's pretty good. I got Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh,
Oh,
damn, you got a good one.
Who is that?
damn.
Read the card.
Wizarding celebrity author. Wrote many books on his encounters with dark creatures and received many prestigious awards, including Order of Merlin, third class, and honorary member of the Dark Force Defense League. Wow, that's a mouthful.
And 1 year as defense against the dark arts teacher.
Huh.
Don't know if they put that in there. Did not do a good job at that.
No.
We'll find out if you watch the TV show, though.
Oh, damn. He lost his memory.
He
Well,
does.
yeah. He also stole a lot of memories.
That's also true. All right. Well, that was a
Cool.
fun tie-in, and
Thank you.
good way to put a bow tie on that topic. Next up, Sony has apparently scrapped most of Beyond the Spider-Verse for creative reasons.
Oh,
The film is unlikely to release before 2027 now.
holy shit. So we're just
I
stuck on that
know-
cliffhanger for 3 more years.
I know it was pushed back to 2026. Obviously, the release was supposed to be, like 5 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be March of this year.
So they essentially made a movie with a terrible ending
Well, it
to
didn't
then-
have an ending. Is the
to
problem.
then not have a plan that was worthy for their next film.
Sounds like Star Wars.
But you guys are going to keep out here telling me that these 2 movies are like the greatest animated films that have ever been made.
I've never seen the second one. First one was an absolute masterpiece.
These are the 2 most overrated movies I've ever seen.
Mm.
They are. I fucking hate them, dude. Like, I think they're the most overrated fucking movies ever. People
I think
put
they're
them.
good. I just think the beef
They're
is
not.
that it's incomplete.
They're just not. They're not. I'm sorry, guys. I've been polite about my disdain for far too long. They get put on a pedestal, and they shouldn't be
Were you polite? I feel like you had a rant about this.
there. Rant 2.
Oh, God.
What all I can ask you about is the first movie. What did you not like?
I just don't think it's that good. I guess like it's not like something that there's things that I don't like about it. I just didn't enjoy it. Like it's whatever. I think it's fine. I'm not. It's not the worst thing ever made. I'm being hyperbolic, but like it gets put up there as like the greatest thing that's ever come out. It's considered one of the best superhero things that's ever been made, and I just cannot agree.
All I remember, I think it came out in December of whatever year it was released. And I remember sitting there walking out of the theaters. I was like, that was my favorite movie of the entire year.
I remember walking out being like, I hate it. Why did it look so blurry? The whole
Yeah,
movie?
the animation style was always my beef.
Yeah,
with the
why
first
this
one.
movie looks so blurry was what I thought to
Oh,
myself.
I absolutely loved the animation and the fact that like Sony did something completely fresh. And
It
new with
looked to me. I remember leaving the theater and being like, I felt like I watched a 3D movie without the glasses on.
That's accurate.
So that definitely bothered me when I watched it. I didn't think it was as funny as people think it is. Love Jake Johnson, he was cool. Just it doesn't do it for me, man.
And I loved getting a Miles Morales story, getting some other characters that you haven't really seen, like the Prowler, get some airtime. I loved the animation. I loved the soundtrack with Sunflower. I loved the theming and everything around like the leap of faith and like basically kind of like just finding his powers. Like
The best movie you saw all year, but then you didn't see the sequel. Says something, folks.
yeah,
Wasn't good
I
enough.
was waiting for an answer on that.
no, I mean like I will watch it.
When, dude? It's been out for 2
In
years.
2027, when the second
Yeah,
part comes
sure.
out.
Well, I'll tell you what. Be prepared for a disappointment.
I think I'll love it.
It's not a good follow-up, dude. It has a Post Malone song, though. If that helps.
Probably will.
Yeah, I don't want to like spoil the ending, but Dante, you agree that the ending of that movie is bullshit.
It's just too much of a cliffhanger for them to not have anything for 3 more years now.
And I just think as a person who doesn't love the first one as much, that being the follow-up and that being the finish to the follow-up, it seemed the thing that I think bothers me more now retrospectively is that like in the time, I thought that movie with another 20 minutes could have just wrapped up that whole storyline and we could have been done with it pretty much. And instead we ended on a cliffhanger. And now you're telling me that there wasn't a good enough follow-up to give us another movie when you could have just tied a bow onto the end of that movie and completed it and you would have been fine.
Yeah.
Why'd we do it? I don't know, guys. I don't know. You check out the movie so we can have this conversation. I'll watch
Okay.
it again even for you.
Okay.
Uh, speaking of Spider-Man, though, Spider-Man 4 has found a director. Have you guys seen this?
No.
They have chosen the director of Shang-Chi, Destin Daniel Cretton, and he's going to most likely be the director for Spider-Man 4.
Okay.
Which I've seen a lot making the rounds now, is the behind the scenes of filming the highway scene in No Way Home, and that like Tom Holland did a majority of his own stunts for that, like doing like the flips and all of that, and then they're showing scenes from Shang-Chi when they're on the side of the building and doing like kind of all like the free running through those the like window cleaner things on the outside of the building. And they're like, people are pretty excited about seeing what they can do with Tom Holland's ability to actually do these stunts with a guy who has that eye for action. Personally, I thought like Shang-Chi was one of my biggest surprises of Marvel overall in terms of like a character that I don't think anybody had any type of optimism for. And going and seeing that movie and being like, I really enjoyed a lot of the fight sequences in that movie and the action in it, with exception to a typical Marvel thing where like the third act is kind of a mess in a way. Like just kind of like it got away from like the things I really liked at the beginning of Shang-Chi were like the more hand-to-hand martial arts fights that you were getting that you don't really get in the third act of that movie once he has his powers. But if you're going to get more of that, like what feels like a little bit more real life and grounded version of action, I think could be really cool.
Huh.
Dante, noted Shang-Chi guy. You enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
what was I going to give you? I mean, like we talked about it.
Can we get one more? Give us one more, sir.
No.
I'm sure. I guess I don't really have any takes on the director. I did enjoy Shang-Chi. I did think it was like you said, surprising movie. I didn't really have any thoughts going into it, and I definitely enjoyed it. I'm just excited for another Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, and I'd love to see where they go with like, obviously, like in the direction of like the villains. Are they still trying to put together essentially their version of like their rogues gallery with all the different, with Venom, with Craven now coming out, Vulture, Scorpion, putting that whole team together? Like, are they still working towards that?
Yeah. Do you think we are going to be getting like that? What do you think? What would be your ideal next villain? I think Venom's an easy one, obviously. And I think it's about time, maybe, if you're going to keep Tom Hardy in this world, that we're done with like maybe doing the Venom trilogy's the end of that, but use him in this.
Well, I think I would like to see like Fisk. I think
Yeah.
Fisk and his whole empire basically kind of start taking over more of New York, and then you integrate like Daredevil and whatnot into that.
Yeah, and I guess like now that you have, I guess now we have to see what they do with Daredevil Reborn, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be great. I've seen a lot of talk of like the Punisher integrating him in, which I think would be a really cool like opposition in the sense that like John Berthal's Punisher is so gritty and like tough and like doesn't feel like it fits the Spider-Man that we get from Tom Holland, that I think it'd be a fun interaction between the two of them. And even thinking back to the way, I want to say it's season 2 of Daredevil runs, with just the way he feels about Daredevil in it. How angry he is about like just how the way he views the world versus the way that Daredevil views the world, right? Like I think just him feeling the same way about like how Tom Holland just is so lighthearted about everything. But at the same time, Tom Holland's now like he's lost everything at the end of No Way Home. So like what's his character progression? And that could be an interesting meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
Dave, I did have a question for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of superheroes, how do you feel about Green Lantern?
Love the character in the comics.
Okay. How do you feel about them getting ready to cast potentially a new Green Lantern?
I'm all for it. I would love to see like a solid movie representation.
So Josh Brolin turned it down. Said
Okay.
he's good. Do you have any preferred people to maybe see in that role? Because I have 4 names to run by you.
So, I mean, I guess my thought kind of swings to, are we doing a Hal Jordan or are we doing a Jonathan Stewart?
Do you have a preference?
No,
I
not
want the
really.
Black Green Lantern.
I think
Lispy or what?
I think Jonathan Stewart
Don't
would
make
be
fun
really
of my speech
cool.
impediment.
Well, my casting choices for Hal Jordan, and it's just pictures that I saw on a tweet. So,
Okay. I mean,
um,
I'm still for like a Ryan Reynolds reprisal with an actually good movie because or good direction, good writing. I still think that like he fit that role pretty well, but he's a little bit older now.
the 4 guys I have are fairly old.
Are they?
I mean, Josh Brolin's not young, to be fair.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't have made any sense to me.
At least two of these guys are decently older. So let me throw out these names that this person. So this is Blue Angel on Twitter. It does a lot of like pop culture stuff on there. And these are his choices for Green Lantern being Hal Jordan. Josh Hartnett.
Love him, but no.
Okay. Tom Cruise.
Nope.
No.
Those are my 2 old people. Get them out of the way.
Yeah, no.
And then interestingly enough, we had a conversation about these 2 folks recently opposing each other. Hot Goss? Anybody?
Glenn Powell.
And then, yeah, that's the other choice. You hate to say it, but Powell kind of works, doesn't he? He does a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely fits like the look,
Kind of fits
the
feeling,
confidence. I would like to see him, actually. Yeah, I guess it
too.
works.
Yeah. See, this is the bias coming out, but he can't help it. He's like, "Fuck, they got me."
Movie's not even in production yet. He's already like, yeah, it sucks if they take
He's like,
it.
how he's trying to find an angle for why you won't
No.
like it.
Who, a little bit on the older side, but I think it would also kind of work would be like Channing Tatum.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Is he early 40s?
He's close to it.
How old is Goss? Did we look this up a couple weeks ago?
I think he's also early
Yeah.
40s.
Whereas like Powell's mid 30s, I think. This is a guess.
Yeah.
So Shannon Tatum's 44, Ryan Gosling's 43, and who said Glenn Powell?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say he's like 35.
35, yeah.
I think we know who the choice is.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other people similar to Powell out there right now that I could see. Can you just Google if there's a list of like choices for Hal Jordan? Maybe we look up if there's a choices for Stewart too, right? Maybe there's a list for that.
Found a post on Reddit. It'll load.
No, and no.
So just no across.
Those are all terrible.
Yeah.
So just so people, because like you can't see it. Number 1, Timothy Oliphant. Nope. Number 2, Ewan McGregor. No. Number 3, Brolin. We already said no. Number 4, Pine. Pine would have worked 10 years ago.
So I've got some other
And
names
5
here.
is McConaughey. Also wouldn't work.
Chris Pine, John Krasinski, Bradley Cooper, Zac Efron, Taron Egerton. I like
think,
Egerton.
I think Krasinski could work. I think he actually kind of works. I don't know
Yeah,
about
actually.
Egerton. Like he's phenomenal. I like him, but I don't know if I see him in that role.
And they only gave 2 options for like Jonathan Stewart, Idris Elba,
Which
a
was
little
an
bit too
obvious
old.
one. Yeah.
And then John Boyega. I'd need to see a lot more grit out of Boyega to play Jonathan Stewart.
What is Boyega even doing?
I don't know. He's just trashing Star Wars.
He attacked the block and then he did some Star Wars, dude. Like, I don't know what else Boyega's been up to. So I don't know.
Yeah, not sure.
It is funny that every time that like it's like we want to. It's like the only people that like the only black actor that people can name for roles potentially is just like they just use Idris Elba. like his name, it's just like, oh, we need a Bond, Idris.
I would have loved him
Yeah.
for Bond though. Like
Yeah.
he just would
I mean,
perfectly fit that.
I'm
role.
not saying that like he shouldn't, like he's a phenomenal actor, so I understand why he's an easy like. But there's a ton of black actors out there, and it's just like we just want to use Idris Elba for every single one of the roles. He's just the easy name to pull, I feel like.
No.
What about B. Jordan?
I mean, he would also be pretty.
I would
nice.
argue him before by Boyega, right?
Yeah.
I do like going with Boyega if you're going the idea of like well known but not super established, kind of just having it's like I think people might be more open and not just like seeing him for all of his other roles. Whereas with Elba and Michael B. Jordan, I think that like you're gonna get a certain level of popularity out of it. But like you're gonna see them as Michael B. Jordan
No,
or Idris Elba.
I mean, I would take any one of Michael B. Jordan in his roles over what I've seen from.
Yeah, Jonathan Boyega. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm with you on that. I just mean in terms of people being more open to like just seeing them for the character.
I don't.
not for the actor.
I mean, I personally, I don't ever have that problem. I kind of just turn off my brain when I'm
mean,
watching a movie.
you should be nicer to Jonathan Boyega, by the way.
When I'm watching a movie, like I'm in the movie, so like anything that these guys have done beforehand, they're not in my brain. Like what Michael B. Jordan has brought to Creed, and even like the just raw like anger and power
The
he brought to
Killmonger,
Killmonger
yeah.
was just absolutely fantastic.
I mean, Michael B. Jordan, from an actor perspective, I mean, we were just doing that movie grid, and it's like, the Fruitvale Station stuff, and like the guy, Dante, you brought up Just Mercy, like he has done performances that are like exceed just being good. Like he is a phenomenal actor. So I think you could put him in any role, and I think he probably, as far as getting a major established actor who people are going to take seriously and kind of guarantee you a certain level of success for the investment that you need to make this kind of a movie that's going to be predominantly CGI, right? Like it's not like a Green Lantern movie isn't going to be a cheap movie by any means. I don't think it could be.
I just found a list on IMDb, and I think another one to talk about would be John David Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like I think that kind of goes along with he's even better for my argument on the Boyega front though, of a guy that's not established enough just yet. That I almost like in
But
that
I
kind
think
of a
that's
role.
why it makes him perfect.
Well,
right?
that's what I mean. Yeah, like and unfortunately I think like Jonathan Majors would have been in these conversations as well if he didn't fuck his career up.
I think that would have been a good one.
He's actually on this list as well, but I skipped that one.
You just like he just has taken himself out of the ability to be in any of these conversations, but he is a guy that would have been in these conversations.
Michael J. White.
A little old on that one,
yeah.
Like, yeah, if we were, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Too old.
No,
And just like
and just acting prowess. Yeah.
and he's a C-level movie guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other names on there?
I don't really know any of the other ones. Oh, Common. I
Not
don't know
gonna
if I
work
can see
either.
that.
Not gonna work either. No.
Jay Ellis.
Who's Jay Ellis?
I'll pull up a picture.
Oh,
Don't know him.
No.
you know, I think he
Ooh.
fits the builds, but I don't know if he has enough serious acting. But I'd say O'Shea.
Jackson.
Yeah,
He's great. I was gonna bring up Gambino.
I don't know if that works.
He's really good in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So like I like seen him do some action stuff. He's solid. Like I think he's a very like
I still want to see him do Prowler in
yeah.
Spider-Man. Like I'd love to see them pull that out.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that's a pretty versatile person, as you've seen at this point, like to where I think that he could be successful being dropped into that. I think it remains to be seen. Like, has he done any major motion pictures, like big budget?
Solo.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And he was strong in that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Not that I can really think of.
No, so he did Mr. and Mrs. Smith recently. Obviously, he has all the Atlanta stuff Community, but like in terms of movies, no, Solo's really the only thing that I can think of.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that stands out to me?
Another one on this list, Sterling K. Brown. I didn't know him by name, but I recognize the face.
I like him, but
I'm
I
not
don't
against
think-
that. He's also a little bit old, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't envision him in like that kind of a role,
right.
like a leading actor role like that. I think it's going to be tough. Like when you have like a guy like Michael B. Jordan, I think would be a dream casting for any production to want to put into their movie if he agrees to do it. Because again, like I think there's a certain level of success that you're almost guaranteed to get out of it, and then the performance to boot to go with it, I think is going to be strong enough. Do you think if this was 10 years ago, like Jamie Foxx?
No, so like the thing. Now, I haven't like watched I haven't read a whole bunch of like the Jonathan Stewart stories. Like I do have like somewhat of a background of his character, but like the whole thing with being Green Lantern is your willpower like exceeds everybody else essentially on the planet or in the universe. And the thing with Jonathan Stewart is he's like a very serious character with like a military like background.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's very just like serious and stoic.
No, we're not using Rick Fox, Dante. What are we
I'm
doing?
just clicking names because I don't know who the fuck these people are.
I look
Thank
over and Dante just has an enlarged image of Rick Fox. Like, what?
you. Ignore what's on the screen, all right?
I would assume that studios would just go for the Hal Jordan route just for being the
Easier
more
to
popular.
cast, too.
Yeah.
Like,
And then,
hey,
if it works, then you could open up potentially other Green Lantern stories with a Jonathan Stewart or a Kyle.
I don't know. The other guy's name.
I can't remember the last name.
But you mentioned military background. I just want to throw one more name out there for you guys. Guy's proven himself recently for his hand-to-hand combat and military being very strong in military roles. Kevin Hart. I just want to throw that out there as an option.
I knew it was a joke.
Oh, man. That's great. Yeah.
I think that we might be missing an opportunity. He proved he could do it.
Did he, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe for a TikTok, Dave, we can have you like really like rank your top 5 options for what's his name? Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah.
We can do a Hal Jordan one too, but I think there's just more of a conversation for the Jonathan Stewart one.
Yeah.
Because I think to your point, Hal Jordan feels like it could be more generic in terms of just like find me like a mid 30-year-old white dude, and there's a million of those that we could just throw into a movie. Now, because of that, finding your top 5 of them could be difficult, but
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I still would like. I think Ryan Reynolds. In that
I think
role,
that ship has sailed.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I think Krasinski might be my guy.
Krasinski might be a good play for that.
That's not a bad call.
I think Powell and Krasinski both fit the mold pretty well for what they like. Looking at what they did with the Ryan Reynolds movie and the way that they wanted it to be portrayed, I think that you can get something, still get some of that same feel, but with like Krasinski, obviously, like the Jack Ryan stuff or whatever. Like he it can be taken seriously as like a physically imposing person, but you also know he has comedic chops to him.
Yeah.
Powell similar.
I mean, what about Hemsworth?
I was thinking more, what about Peter Quill?
Oh. No.
Don't want that, huh?
I'm out.
I don't want Hemsworth, no. I don't think I'm a Hemsworth guy.
What about the younger Hemsworth?
Liam or
the unfaithful one.
Liam or what's the other one? Chris? Liam? Luke. That's the other one. Which one you Liam probably.
Yeah, the unfaithful one.
Yeah. Yeah. Shame on him. What a damn shame that guy was.
Yeah.
He had options, so I don't blame him. He's a Hemsworth. And Miley's doing okay.
Yeah. Won her first Oscar off of the back of those events.
And you know what it takes to win an
Not
Oscar,
Oscar.
Dave?
Emmy.
Yeah. No.
Grammy.
Grammy.
Yep.
Yep.
We got there.
Sick.
But you know what it takes to win a Grammy, Dave?
What's that?
Dante, do you know?
No.
Well, funny enough, guys, it takes taste.
Ah,
Yeah.
dang.
I could probably win a Grammy because I have it.
I don't think so.
I got a little taste this week. Yeah,
Huh?
I think I'm good.
All right.
Taste. It's waiting, guys. It's waiting for somebody to jump in there with me.
Taste.
I did the awkward drop last time, I think.
Okay. Do you want to know? Do we want to start with? I assume we both saw another movie in the theaters that we each saw, Dante.
I think so. No.
We don't have a similar movie that we saw this
No.
week.
I know the other movie that you saw. I didn't see it.
Interesting. Well, you go first then. That bums me out that we didn't both see this.
Yeah. And then I saw your rating of it, and I was like, "Do I want to?"
That's fair. That's fair. We can get to that. What'd you see that I didn't see then?
City of Dreams.
Is that the fucking movie from the same people who made Sound of Freedom?
I don't think so. City of Dreams is the one with the like Mexican like child trafficking thing.
Yeah, it's the same people who made Sound of Freedom, dude.
Oh, okay.
You're a fucking weirdo for seeing that movie, Dante.
Am I?
Yes.
Why?
You're a fucking weirdo for seeing that shit.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
That was like the weird, like, just like Republican ties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the what are those QAnon like shit? Yeah, that's what you went and saw. That's crazy.
So you're saying I'm racist for going to see it?
No, I just think you're fucking weird. But
Okay.
go ahead, talk to us about it.
I mean, it's basically just a movie about a kid who thinks he's finally getting out of like the slums of Mexico to America to pursue his dreams of soccer, and instead he's sold into child trafficking and child labor. And the movie is centered all around this kid and like the shit they go through in there, and like, you know, they're like, I think they were like making like dresses or something, and like, you know, anytime they fucked up they were like getting beat, and they all had to like sleep together, like 20 of them in this one room, like just on the floor. It's honestly kind of fucked up.
The third article on this movie is from Fox News, just so everybody's
Oh
out there.
shit.
Understanding what Dante is out there.
Damn, I supported the wrong one, huh?
I just like I saw this in the list of movies, and I was aware of its association to The Sound of Freedom, and I said to myself, morally, just like not going to Starbucks or McDonald's, I cannot go see this movie.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know.
That's
All right, I didn't know.
great excuse, dude.
I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I drove out to Framingham for this one, too.
Some of us take a stand. Some of us, you know, are sympathizers.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
And you liked the movie? Hold on before he changes the rating, because we've told him now. I need to see where he put it.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Can you put a Notes app apology out for this? Last week, I unknowingly went and saw.
I think I might have to.
Yeah, I'd like that, so I could I'll put it as an Instagram story for us.
Yeah.
We need to get ahead of this.
Gotta work on our publicity here, you know?
Yeah, I don't think that this is a good thing for you.
I had no idea, I swear to God.
I'm trying to see how far up on this. Is it 24th on your list? Holy shit, it's top third?
Fuck.
I mean, why don't you just go see Reagan while you're at it too?
Only reason I didn't see that shit is it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's an obscenely long movie for a movie about fucking Reagan, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, Dante.
Yeah. Damn, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay.
All right, well, I saw The Front Door.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of either of these movies.
I've seen the
gentlemen.
trailers for it.
The Front Door is it's a movie with Brandy.
Yeah.
Oh, she's still alive.
Yeah, Brandy is in a movie. She's about to have a child with her husband when they take in his stepmother. I don't believe it's his actual birth mother, who is like 90 into their home, but she's an old racist basically. Um, and I don't know, like she super religious and she was part of the Confederacy when she was younger.
I was wondering why I couldn't find the movie. It's not the front door; it's the front room.
The front room, fuck, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here. Like Brandy's good in it, but there's just it's an hour and 40 minutes of just like nothing. Like the end kind of sucks. Like, uh, most of you can basically get the whole theme of the movie from just watching the trailer. And a majority of the beats from the trailer kind of fit in there. It tries to be like it sells itself, I think, as more of like a horror movie or like a supernatural like type horror movie in a way. And it borders on those themes, but never goes all the way with the idea. So you never get like this like it just lives in the in between the whole way through. It's kind of weird and
You said it has supernatural themes.
yeah, in a way, yeah, like
Weird.
like she speaks in tongues
Okay.
throughout the movie and like she gets a C-section, Brandy gets a C-section and like she has her church group over when she comes home with the kid and they all hold the stomach and start speaking in tongues and like 2 days later her stomach's healed. Some of it's like there's some like holy shit like moments as far as like the shit the woman says and stuff like that is all like holy shit moments to it, I suppose. But yeah, like it just doesn't it didn't really work for me at all. And I wanted to like it, and I just kept waiting for it to kind of jump into the next gear and really like get into the shit, and like it just felt like you kept setting up and never really paid off to anything that I enjoyed that much. So yeah, I ended up giving it a pretty low score. I'm still on Dante's list. Sorry.
I know you had it at 1.5 stars.
Yeah, I have it like at the bottom list.
Yeah.
So I have it at 59 at 1.5 stars. I have it in front of The Beast Within, I Saw the TV Glow, Tarot, and ISS, but behind everything else on my list. It just didn't do it for me.
Damn.
I don't like. I'm sure there's people who are gonna watch this and enjoy it. I just can't say that I would be one of them. It's at 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. I don't think this ultimately goes anywhere or says anything. Also, there is so much piss and shit. Oh my god, it's a review on. That's accurate.
This is why I love the Letterboxd reviews. They're just like regular people, just quick
I
thoughts.
got to roll through some of these reviews.
They're the
Yeah.
best.
I've never really run through the app
They're the
other
best.
than just kind of throwing my own stuff down there.
A 1-star review from David B. First off, do not capitalize not fall asleep in the same bed as your newborn baby. It will die. It has not developed the motor skills to reposition itself as it suffocates from leaning against your body the wrong way. Second, why the hell are you planning to keep your newborn baby all the way downstairs while you sleep in another part of the house? This is not how babies work. There's more actually. Fuck. Oh, dude, this is way too long. I'm gonna stop. But yeah, like they explained that part of it in the movie, but that was a dumb idea to begin with. She was already not ready to be a parent. There is a 2-star review that just says Brandy looked beautiful.
Okay.
Congrats to you. A 1-star review from Bailey. Congrats to A24 who have not achieved Hago. Can you read that word for me? 8 word, like 5 words. 1-star review.
Hagsploitation.
Got it. Per se. But they have established their own cheapo horror genre called Hey Guys, Look at the Naked Old Person. Also, there's poop.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Hagsploitation makes sense now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I didn't even think about this. There's a scene. There's 2 scenes in this movie that are horribly uncomfortable. This woman's 90, and she's basically trying to become the pseudo mother to her son and to the new baby. And there's a scene where Brandy like is like having like, visions and sees her like breastfeeding her child. And then and she has like 7 tits. It's very awkward.
The fuck?
And then there's another scene where she's like dreaming and she comes
Nice.
downstairs and finds her full grown husband breastfeeding from this old lady. And when he pulls away from the tit, there's just milk like running through his beard.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is right, Dante?
Hell yeah.
There's like she's incontinent, so she can't like hold her bowels, and she's just like she. There's just a scene where Brandy keeps getting left home with this woman taking care of her, and she has to help her get to the bathroom. And there's a scene where she's just shit all over the walls and into the bathroom, and Brandy's like washing her hands, and you just see like shit smeared on her like face.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a fucking bad movie. I don't know. It's bad, but these
Ugh.
comments are funny. I might need to read more.
That's gross.
Do you have anything, Dave? Like I know you like to watch shit on the flights.
Yeah, so I have one more theater movie
Okay.
I saw this week, and I have 3 in-flight movies I watched.
All right. Me and Dante both still have a theater movie. Where do you want to start?
So the theater movie I saw was It Ends With Us.
Oh, you did see it.
Oh,
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I
I'd
ended up,
never envisioned Dave going to see that.
ended up watching that yesterday.
Empty theater.
There were 2 other people, and one of them, without me seeing, just disappeared.
Into the sofa or like into the chair or
Just when I went to go walk out of the theater, she was no longer sitting there.
wow. Magic.
Yeah.
That's some shit. How did you feel?
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. Blake Lively. Fantastic, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody did their roles pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, Blake Lively was great. The main guy, Ryle,
Yeah.
who I don't know who he is, know nothing about him.
Director of the movie.
Yeah, I saw that, but I thought he played the role perfectly. I mean, he was obviously just like an attractive dude in shape. You could just tell from the beginning that he just kind of had like just like played like the hidden anger part pretty well.
Mhm.
Extremely charismatic throughout the entire movie, and obviously they hid like the kind of like, I don't know, like the theming of the movie like in the background pretty well, because obviously like there's a couple times when like obviously the events happen and she gets hurt, and obviously they play throughout the movie that like there are reasons that aren't abusive that kind of lead to these accidents happening
Mhm.
until you get
The full picture.
the
of
full
what-
picture of like, hey, like I have my full memory back of what happened. Like obviously like there was the kitchen incident, which like could very clearly be like explained by like, hey, I burned my hand and then like reeled back in like pain really quick.
Mhm.
And I feel like that could be answered very easily. And then the whole staircase scene, a little bit more troubling, but like also like as he's walking down the steps, you like step in front of him, like you can get knocked back and fall down.
Mhm.
Until then they show the further scene of like, hey, he got angry and pushed.
Yeah. I think like that, and we talked about there in our review, Dante. Like, I think that that's one of the stronger aspects of that movie is
The excuses they make.
yeah, exactly. The idea of like wanting to make excuses for the person that you care about, and the way that a person who's in those positions creates the scenario that makes them more innocent in their head.
But I mean, also, I like for coming from like her perspective, like both of those incidents like could be explained by yourself. Like, oh, like they weren't actual like anger, like
Yeah.
out from him to her.
I think in the movie it's left more with less of like with more of a out for him
Yeah,
in those initial
I feel like
scenes.
in the movie, like when they finally show that it like, oh wait, it was intentional. It's almost like she was choosing not to see the anger driving behind it.
Yeah. In the book, there's a little bit more build up in like the kitchen scene, for instance, of her like laughing when he burns his hand and not realizing it's as serious as it is, that allows his anger to boil up because he's
Yeah.
realizing he has a operation that he has to do tomorrow and his hands are his whole job. and she's laughing and he lashes out in that way, and she still molds it in her head to not be as bad and make excuses for it. But in the movie, it's definitely a little bit more up to the interpretation of the viewer, and especially initially, where you can justify how it happened and not vilify him in that.
But the only other thing that I'd say like came a little bit weird from I think that first scene is like the immediate dialogue after the fact was like him essentially saying like your accident.
Yeah, putting it on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which also is like, that's where I think to a T, this movie plays like that abusive relationship thing very well. And
Yeah.
obviously is meant to, like, those scenes are, all of this is meant to make you aware, but also uncomfortable. And especially the third time it happens is like super uncomfortable because it teeters on like sexual abuse, not just physical abuse. Um, do you, now that you've heard us talk about this enough with all the drama behind the scenes and everything like that, and the idea that it's probably not going to, like, there should be a sequel to this, but like there's not. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know anything of the books. To me, this movie could just end here and like that's the end of it. The fact that there is another book and I don't know anything about it, like I'm fine with everything how it is and where it is.
Yeah, I think it bums me out having read the second book and knowing like what they can do with the second book. Um, I would like to see it, but I do agree that like where they left it, it leaves in a way that's like optimistic.
Yeah.
You know, like with like her whole world in front of her still, so they could just end it.
And I mean, I think like one of my favorite and like probably like more like powerful scenes, like for one, like I love Jenny Slate and like everything that she does and everything that she's been in. But like her scene, like towards the end when she's kind of like being told everything that's happened with her brother, and she's
Yeah.
just like, hey, like as his sister, you know, I would hope that you'd like find somewhere in your heart to forgive him. Like I know everything that he's been through. I don't want to make excuses, blah blah blah. But like as your best friend, like if you ever go back to him, like we will never talk again. Like I was like,
It's a very powerful scene.
yeah.
And like in the books and in the movie, I think they personify that character and like as she is like the ultimate like best friend that you could ask for like for Blake Lively's character. Like, yeah, I think they portray that really really well, and that scene's great.
Yeah.
No, it's cool you saw that, Dave. Where did you rank that?
Yeah, I think I have it like around 10-ish. Granted,
What's your
like,
list up to?
my
20?
list is up to 21, and yes, I have it at 10. Um, funny enough, immediately behind Deadpool and Wolverine.
That works.
Okay.
Her two movies, which is an average score of 9.5 for the year.
Yep.
Give us one of your movie theater, or I mean, airplane movies before we get into our reviews.
Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh,
Oh.
she has a new movie coming out too.
Daisy.
Yeah, with the guy from what's the Sydney Sweeney TV show?
Euphoria?
Yeah, what's the guy from Euphoria? The one who is trying to bang what's her name, Hunter Schafer.
I'm not good with names.
What's his name? It's bothering me that I can't think of his name now.
I don't know anybody in the show.
Jacob Elordi?
Yeah, Jacob Elordi. Yeah, she's in a movie with Jacob Elordi coming out.
Okay.
Looks pretty good.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been on my list of wanting to watch it for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So just finally like being stuck in a seat for 6 hours, like, all right, fine, let's do it.
It's a little slow. Like I haven't seen it in years, but it's a little slow, I think. But like she's again fantastic in it. And I think the whole story of that movie is really solid.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely played like that, like kind of shy, timid girl, like antisocial girl, like very well. And obviously, like there was enough times like in this movie where like I thought like going to the movie is like she's like a complete loner and like out in the middle of nowhere and like never has any kind of ties with people, but like she does have like obviously like some contact with like the townsfolk and whatnot, and like it kind of grows over time.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously like the relationship between her original sweetheart versus just like the the kind of like cocky jock guy later on. All plays together pretty well.
I think because you haven't watched Normal People,
No.
but so like Dante, since you've seen Normal People, I think that you'll see a lot of similarities between who she plays in this movie and Where the Crawdads Sing versus Normal People. The characters are fairly similar in a way, like that awkwardness and like shyness that she's able to play through. And I think that's what's been interesting seeing her in a movie now like Twisters with a whole different level of confidence than you see her in these earlier roles where she was kind of cast into these more shy, reserved roles. And now you're seeing her branch out into these bigger. And I think it just comes with like her fame is growing pretty quickly now too. But yeah, she just seems a lot more confident in these new roles.
And I mean, not to kind of, I don't want to spoil anything because I feel like now both of us are telling Dante to eventually watch this movie. Didn't like the ending.
This is where I don't remember it well enough, but I think that I felt similar at the time because I actually, funny enough, one of the few things that shows up on my Letterboxd, I think this was like one of the first movies I put a star rating on my Letterboxd.
It shows up at like the front of your page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On my recent
Because I think it was
activities.
the only thing you like wrote a review for, right?
Yeah, I wonder what I wrote. Well casted and interestingly enough, wish there was more done in the courtroom and didn't love the ending. That was
There
my
you go.
review.
Yeah.
I was on the spot with that. Huh? Yeah, I give it 2.5 stars.
Oh, I'd give it more than that.
Yeah. Like I said, first thing I ever rated. And I actually wrote I didn't write a review for that, but I did write one for the Watchers. Yeah. I have like Next Cold Wind shows up here, which I didn't write a review for. So I don't know why it's there.
Interesting.
But yeah, okay. So I apparently felt the same way about Where the Crawdads Sing, that the ending didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Maybe if Dante sees it, you can remind me as to what the ending was. But
Is that on the Voodoo?
no.
Ah.
Where'd you watch it?
On the plane.
Oh, like
like they had it on
Thank you.
the thing on the plane,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
the
okay.
built-in media center thing.
Yeah.
How many movies? I've never watched a movie on a plane, like on like the screens that they have on a plane.
They usually have a decent amount. Like both my flights were JetBlue, but I had a newer plane flying over there, so there was a lot better of a console and a lot more to watch on the flight back. It was kind of like old tech, like the wasn't really working very well. There were new movies in there, but weren't as much. But my flight back was just I slept the whole way.
Exhausted from the trip and being in the sun.
Yeah.
I get it. I'll go next. I went to another movie theater.
Okay.
I went out to Danvers.
Okay.
You've been, Dante.
Didn't like that one.
I've been there once.
I don't have an issue with it. What didn't you like about it again?
I just don't think I liked the whole like having to walk through the mall part of it.
Can I give you a tip?
What?
There's an entrance that's not the mall.
It has its own entrance?
Yes. So I got there 30 minutes before the movie started because like I left work and then drove there. So I drove around the whole plaza,
Yeah.
right? If you drive around the back, there's a very, very small parking lot, and I saw people walking out and the door said AMC on it. And there's just an entrance on the back of there that goes right into the theater.
Huh.
And it goes in, you know where you walk into the movies and go left or right for the theaters?
Yeah.
It's right there behind that.
Okay.
So
I
yeah.
don't see myself going back to that one though, just because like I think the only reason I went there is because like the movie I wanted to see wasn't playing anywhere else. But I feel like most of those obscure things are playing in Framingham.
Yeah,
And
so this movie's not playing anywhere except for Danvers.
They
I
still
see.
have Buffalo Wild Wings in that mall?
Yes.
Yeah. The only time I've been there was when Avengers, the first one, came out.
Mhm.
And I went and did the whole marathon of all movies
Leading up to it
at the
at
theater.
that theater.
And we just grabbed Buffalo Wild Wings and they just let us walk into the theater because we were there for like 18 hours.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice theater. Like the theater itself, I thought was nice. I don't love this whole like they don't have people working the concession stands. You just walk up and use like the touchscreen to order your stuff. Because
That was kind of confusing because I ordered on one side and I was waiting on that same side and then realized my stuff was on the other side.
So I had to wait like 3 minutes just to get a cup for a soda. I didn't get food. I was just standing there and I was like, are they like they just need to bring me a cup? Like, how long do I have to wait for this? It was kind of awkward. Um, but yeah, so I went and saw this movie, The Thicket,
Okay.
which has what's his name from Game of Thrones, well, the small person,
Tyrion or
yeah, Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. So it's a Western movie. Funny enough, it's a Tubi film.
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, like that company,
Ugh.
which I didn't know they did movies. Um,
I didn't know they did real movies.
yeah, and it's Juliette Lewis is in it too. It's a weird kind of movie. So it's a Western. It's like the end of the 1800s. And the beginning of the movie is like super weird. You're like following like this family, this brother and sister who their parents die from smallpox to start the movie. And they're traveling with their grandfather and he's left them land. And he, they get to like this river passing where they have to pay somebody to like take them across on their little like horse and buggy type situation. And this group of like bad people, one of them being Juliette Lewis, who's like a super wanted outlaw, show up and they end up killing the grandfather and they take the daughter. And from there it sets out with the brother trying to go and find them and get the daughter, get his sister back. And Peter Dinklage is this guy, he doesn't really have a home or anything. He just goes around and does like small jobs. Like you meet him as like they're digging graves and getting paid to do so in this town. But he is like he's kind of he's a badass, honestly. Like Peter Dinklage. I want the one note I took during this movie, um, the it was that the movie got infinitely better once he was in it. So
Mm.
like the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I was like, this acting, like this movie feels really weird. It feels like it's like a B-level movie with the actors in it. And then the second he's on screen and anything from there on out, it like infinitely improves because he's so good in it. Um, but yeah, like the brother gets him to come along because he tells him about there being a $10,000 bounty on the outlaw, and that he'll split it with him if they go with him, and you kind of just build from there. Uh, it's kind of a weird movie, but by the end of it, I actually ended up enjoying it quite a bit. I like it. It exceeded. It's obviously like one of those ones I had no prior knowledge. I had never seen a trailer. I knew nothing about it. I just knew he was in it.
I'd never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's deep on the list on AMC, dude. Like real deep. And if it's only showing in Danvers, you know it's like
Yeah.
not that big of a movie to begin with. Um, so I don't know. We're in this thing, Dante, where we just need to see movies, right? So
Yeah.
I picked one from the list and I went and checked it out and just gave it a shot. And yeah, it ended up exceeding any expectations I really had for it. I'm trying to find what I gave it. So I have it in at 38. I ended up just giving it 2.5 stars. Like I didn't. Like it's really on the strength of like Peter Dinklage just being fantastic during it. The coolest thing is like he has like essentially like a rifle with like a long barrel on it that like nobody else is using in the late 1800s, so he can shoot somebody from up to a mile away, and like people are mind blown by it.
Huh.
But yeah, it was good. I would actually recommend it. Definitely not something you need to go out and like see really quickly. There, Andrew Schultz is in it too for like one scene, and he's just hilarious. He's running like a brothel. It's very funny, and it's like just a good scene. He has a fight sequence in it actually.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's my other movie I saw this week. Do you want to tell us about what's the name of the girl who is in the lead actors in this movie you saw, Dante? My old ass.
Maisie Stella.
No, the other one.
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. I want to see this movie, so I'm hoping you say good things.
I'll start off with saying it's actually really good. I feel like
Was it
I'm
better
the
than
type
City of Dreams?
yes.
Is that post knowing what you watched or pre?
pre?
Okay.
So usually I'm the type of person that like I can get like really excited by a trailer, and like a lot of times like it like heightens my expectations of things. And I want to say like the trailer kind of like got me excited for the movie, but the movie fully lived up to it. It's a really good like coming of age kind of rom-com kind of movie.
I think Aubrey Plaza is fantastic
Yeah.
in like anything she does.
She's
Mhm.
not in it a ton, but like for the scenes that she is in it is great. Like most of her her character is basically supposed to be like the older version of her.
Yeah,
And you get the initial like time they meet, but every time after that she's just like talking to her on a phone.
got it. So it's really you see the scenes in the trailer, and that's like the amount of them together.
There's like one other scene with her in it. But yeah, she's basically in it for like 2 scenes.
Okay.
But like just the overall like vibe of the movie, like I think it was very well acted, like very good storytelling. Um, I guess the part that kind of confused me was like the whole way she gets to like meet her older self is like it's her 18th birthday and her and her friends go off to an island and they do shrooms. And like her trip is she sees her older version of herself.
Mhm.
But like without this being like a fantasy type movie, like it was kind of confusing to like put together the logic on how she can continue to interact with her after
I mean,
that.
the shrooms just kept kicking in.
But that wasn't really the case.
Okay.
It's not like this was all over the course of one day, right? Like this is like,
Yeah, no, but the shrooms kept kicking in.
is that how shrooms work?
You tell me.
Okay.
You can get stuck in an acid trip,
So you can get stuck in a shrooms trip, I guess.
maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Lingering. Maybe she was microdosing.
Well, then they didn't write that part in.
Oh, this is the theater. This is the poster I've seen at the theater.
I saw a TikTok recently of just Aubrey Plaza on like late night shows, and she's just like a naturally uncomfortable person, and it's just funny to watch
it's
her
great.
interact in real life with people.
Yeah.
And she just constantly like there's like a video of her like breaking Letterman. Obviously, like it's easy to break like Fallon and some of these other guys, but like watching her break like Letterman was very funny. I'm a very big fan of
Yeah.
her. Yeah, that'll be a this week watch for me.
Yeah, I don't really want to say too much because you intend to watch it, and like I don't want to give away too much, but just
Yeah.
know it's good.
I'm glad to hear it lived up.
Yeah.
And it's one that's going to be worth watching. Granted, I don't trust any of your reviews after Slingshot, but
Damn.
Hmm.
Well, I put this one at 3 stars, and it dropped in at 22.
okay. Dave, you had some more plane movies?
Yeah, so I had like one like kind of TV movie, but it was the third Psych movie.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
Psych
Love
3,
that.
This Is Gus.
I've
Do
seen
you
it.
do you partake?
Yeah.
Oh.
Psych's one of my favorite shows ever.
Damn. I mean, we sit across the table from each other and never knew that, but I think it's like,
Yeah.
I would probably put it in like a top 5, maybe top 10 show.
I think Psych was a Friday night show for new episodes when it was on TV.
for a
show.
lot of wrestling
TV.
fans,
I
I think
didn't
it
know
was
they had
post
movies of that.
SmackDown or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were movies of that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the show stopped like
They're on
10
Peacock.
plus year ago,
Huh.
10 plus years ago, and they've done 3 separate movies now.
Lassie's Revenge, I feel like was one of them.
That
or
was
something
the
like
second
that.
one, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Yeah, I love and I don't remember characters' names now. So Dule Hill I know is Gus. But
Gus,
what's
Sean,
yeah,
James-
Sean
James Roday,
James Roday.
or
Yeah.
Rodriguez.
I love him and the Lady Cops like whole thing through the whole show.
Yeah.
So it hits on all my favorite things about movies and TV. So
Hmm.
I think that show's fantastic.
Plus, yeah, the comedy and like just the myriad of like 80s and
Movie
90s
references
yeah.
and everything. Yeah, all really good. That show was kind of perfect for me with like the little like subtle movie references and like gags throughout it. Did you watch it, Dante, or no?
I've watched the show. I never again knew there were any movies.
Yeah, I think it's one of the like sleeper best shows.
I think I
possible.
watched it when it was still like regularly on TV
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
The spelling bee episodes. I think my favorite episode. I think that's like
Yeah.
episode like 2
2,
of the whole
yeah.
show. Yeah, I really like that.
And then the last movie I watched was Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, you got you.
Mm.
That was the first time watching it.
Yeah.
Do you play the games or anything?
No, but they've been on my like wish list on Steam for a few years now. And I've never just like pulled the trigger and ended up purchasing them. After seeing the movie, I liked it. Like it wasn't for being like a horror movie and being Blumhouse Like
It's kids.
there was nothing scary about this movie.
No, it's made for kids for
like
sure.
the entire game is just built on tension and just like jump scares.
Yeah.
Which I don't really feel like this movie had. There was like one or two like loud jump scares, which weren't even the animatronics. It was that stupid little like guy in the locker, the little figure.
Yeah. Okay.
Was like he popped up twice, and it was just like that was like the loud jump scare for.
I've seen people play Five Nights at Freddy VR, and that looks like it's scary.
Okay, well, I'm not going to play VR, but I probably will try and go through some of the core games at some point soon.
Do you just not have a VR, and that's why you won't do it?
I do, but I don't really have space.
You just put the headset on and play with the controller.
Yeah, but like the moving around.
You just look left and right.
Okay, it's not going to happen.
All right, I'm just saying, like you're just putting excuses out there that I'm like easily put away. You know.
No, I don't have the wireless one too, so it's like all wired up into my PC.
You have like an OG Oculus.
Yeah,
Got it. I mean, I wouldn't do it either. I have no interest in VR, but
I've tried it, but the motion sickness gets me real bad.
that's why I know I can't do it.
Yeah.
Josh Hutcherson,
yeah,
very good.
yeah.
Matthew Lillard, also very good.
Yeah.
Pretty mid-level movie for you, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a whole lot terrible to say. I think I put it at 16.
Your list confuses me. Because like at least I know my list is all just movie theater movies. You could just have anything on your list.
Well, it's all from anything I've watched in 2024. So it's all this year's movies.
But it's everything or only things you watched in theaters?
No, I mean he didn't watch this in the theater,
Everything that
it's
I've
on the list.
watched that came out in 2024.
Gotcha.
That was a movie theater movie. So like I don't have Hitman on here. No,
Because it wasn't a movie theater movie.
right.
Got it.
Okay.
So like this list still stacks up to like what you guys are putting down for your list. It's just not all of these movies I have seen in theaters, but they came out in theaters.
Huh.
What? I don't even because I didn't watch Five Nights at Freddy. I watched that on Peacock, so I didn't watch that in theaters, so it's not on my list.
Oh yeah.
You saw it in theaters, yeah.
No.
Thought you
I
saw
think
it
we
with
watched it on Peacock then.
No, you watched it with your like nephew or whatever.
Oh yeah, I did. Was that this year though? What is that on my list? I don't remember putting.
Or
that
was
on
it
my list.
last year?
No, it was definitely this year's movie.
You sure?
Yes. Like it wasn't even close to it might have been like March or April.
No, it was like November, wasn't it?
I feel like yeah.
Oh, actually, it is a 2023 movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
I
wow.
thought.
Because I
Okay.
felt like it was October or November of last year.
Oh, okay, I was wrong. I thought that was definitely a this year movie.
Sorry to let you know, dude.
Well, I do blame you. So
It's on me, dude. It's totally on me. Okay. Only other things I've been still watching Greek. I'm watching season 3 of Outer Banks because we talked about it and like new shows coming out in a month. So it's only 10 episodes. I'm pretty close to done with it. I don't think I've watched anything else of note.
have you seen the Minecraft trailer,
No,
dude?
no, I don't. No. I saw Momoa in a wig.
Yeah, not a fan.
No, I'm not a Momoa guy, notably. So
There's a Minecraft movie coming out.
yeah.
Huh.
It looks bad.
I would reckon don't IMDb it, Dante. Just pull up the trailer.
I don't want.
We can watch it post pod. Anything else anybody's been watching?
Nah.
Nah.
Okay. Well, if you've been watching anything out there, please let us know. Let us know what you think of the Minecraft trailer. I think it is probably objectively bad and going to be terrible, and I don't know why it's being made. Also, let's double back. Spider-Verse, horribly overrated. I just want to get that out there one more time. Just bad.
Well, then let's just tack on to that. Glenn Powell, horribly overrated. Let's just we'll throw that on.
You have a controversial take to throw out there, Dante? Oh, wait. You saw City of Dreams. Don't need to say much else than that.
Fuck.
You
Hoping
know,
we would glaze over that one.
the great thing about this podcast, though, is we are diverse. We have a right-wing conspiracist, and then we have us. So
No.
if you're on either side of that equation, make sure to drop a like, comment, share, and subscribe on this movie or podcast. This is movie length at this point. It's longer than the movie Afraid that we saw last week. So until next week, we love you. Peace out. We bid you fale. Adieu.
Peace.
Later. Gunshots, anybody? Gunshots?
That's your thing.
Bang, bang.
Oh, ski.
For those with good taste.